Okay, so you've seen the wellness pyramid, and we've already stated that tonight's focus is going to be on reducing the toxic load and how that impacts our overall wellness. So, several years ago, when we decided as a family, my husband and I, to make a change in our health, one of the things that we put into practice, according to the nutritionists and the natural doctors that we followed, was to do a cleanse seasonally. And the reason for that is because with the changing of the seasons comes some change in our bodies. In the wintertime, obviously, we're less active. Things are colder. We want to stay inside, sometimes cuddled under a blanket. It's not as nice to walk outside. The days are shorter. Some of us struggle more with our moods during that time. So every season brings a new set of challenges. And so it's always a great idea to do a detox or a cleanse at the beginning of each season. We missed our fall de-cleanse this year due to circumstances that were going on, just busyness and stress in our lives. And so we are really ready to do the winter cleanse right now and to reset for the coming year. We'll do this again in the spring. But this is one of the most important times of the year because everything's fresh and new after Christmas, and we usually overconsume things at Christmas time. Now, about 2 years ago, this is a short personal testimony from me, but I became very, very sick with well, I didn't know what it was to begin with, but for months I was struggling with a lot of the symptoms that I'm going to share with you here in a little bit. But I found out after consulting with a naturopath and realizing that I needed some deep healing that I was suffering from candida. And so just in short, to let you know what candida is, it is an overgrowth of yeast in your digestive tract. Now, we all have yeast in our digestive tract, and that's not harmful. But sometimes when yeast overgrows, it becomes very harmful because in its worst states, which is part of what I was suffering from, it grows. The best way I can explain it is tentacles that then puncture holes through your digestive tract and can let toxins and partially digested bits of food and all kinds of nastiness into your bloodstream. And so then you begin to have some of these symptoms. And I will share in a post in just a little bit what some of those symptoms may be. I was very sick with it for a long time before I realized that any of those symptoms were pointing back to candida. So I really realized through my struggle with that and trying to heal from candida, it definitely took more than one cleanse for me. But one cleanse helped me notice a huge difference. I realized through all of that, the things that I was doing that fed that. Stress was one of them. None of us have any of that in our lives. But the body sees stress as sugar, and sugar is the number one thing that feeds candida and causes it to grow. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, the more studying that I did, but unfortunately, the results that I found out were that many of our autoimmune diseases and serious things that we struggle with as a whole are the end result of an ongoing struggle with candida that we didn't realize was there. Not all of them, but many of the autoimmune things that we deal with can trace back to this overgrowth of yeast. So that's one of the reasons that it's really important to reduce this toxic load, to keep our digestive system operating properly. You saw the graphic a while ago how much of our health is centered within our gut. And so I want you to know the importance of this. And so moving forward, we're going to talk about reducing the toxic load, and that includes candida. But because of that, we're going to make a few eating adjustments, and part of that includes removing things that will feed that candida as we're trying to get it out of our systems. Okay?